balmy August night out here at Centennial High School. This is the Kern High School District's live exclusive coverage of high school athletics. Tonight, it is football. We are back, and we are excited to be here. I'm Vance Palm alongside Kenny Calvin, Rich Cornford. Tonight, Scrimmage visiting Ridgeview Wolfpack. White tops, purple bottoms at Centennial. Gold bottoms, red tops, gold jerseys. This is the Kern High School District's live exclusive coverage, and we are back in business. It has been a long, long time since we have been at a football field in the month of August. Yes, Kenny and I finished up last spring a few months ago, and that was unusual to say the least, but we did get some football in. But we are here now, and it's almost as if the weather gods are just as happy as this cool breeze starts to come in. First, let's bring in my longtime partner, a BHS legend, a Bakersfield College Renegade legend. He is the host of the Renegade Report, and he is none other than Kenny Calvin. Kenny, good evening. Your thoughts of being back here in August?
I mean, it's like you said, we had a year and a half away from the game in the right time of the year, as I would say. It was a breath of fresh air to be able to be out there in the spring and to see some of those seniors get an opportunity. Also had an opportunity to see Coach Cornford and his Ridgeview Wolfpack, finish up a good spring and a tough football game. But to be back in the normal time of the year gives you goosebumps.
Speaking of Rich Cornford, one of the iconic names here in local football, head coached 3 different stops, and he's such a diehard football rat, if you want to call him that. He jumped back in and did some JV work. Then, wouldn't you know it, he's back at the helm last year at the head coach for the Ridgeview Wolfpack. But Kenny, whatever he tries to say, we know that he missed being on the Kern High Network with us, and now He's back. Introduce our man here.
Reunited, and it feels so good. Coach Cornford, one of the best football brains in America. It's an honor to have you back in the booth. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. A lot less nerves than I have when I'm down on that field, I'll tell you that.
Right.
But it is great to be back. The spring had some real positives, but, boy, it's tough. And on these guys, a quick turnaround. They went right back into it. I think last year you saw the defenses were well ahead of the offenses on most teams. And it'll be interesting to see with these guys getting able to do 7-on-7 all summer. I think we'll see better offensive productivity from both sides.
You hit the nail on the head talking about how tough it was just to get a season done in the spring. As commentators and as coaches, we watch all the people on the couch criticize people when things are happening, but they don't understand how much hard work it was just to get things done to even compete. So, hats off to you. I think you did a great job in that shortened season. Undermanned, so many players that couldn't play based on the fact that they had to pick sports. How did you navigate that? Just being able to deal with half a roster in such a short season, Coach.
Yeah, well, I didn't deal with it as well as I should have. One of the guys you'll see out here for Ridgeview tonight, Andres Rivera, was a starter for the state champion baseball team.
Wow.
He would have been our quarterback last year as a sophomore. And, definitely missed out on that. But, he was straightforward with us, and he's obviously a great baseball player, but I'm anxious to see him on the field tonight and kind of wish we could have had him last spring.
Right.
Scrimmage evenings are always fun for us. Kevin Willie, pleasure to see you back here. Why don't you turn your headset on? And,
I'm here.
And introduce the person to your left. And how is it that we're so gifted to have both of you tonight?
Well, this is a tech night, so we all just show up. This is Julian Wilson here next to me.
Dr. J.
And he's running camera for now. We'll switch here in a little bit, but we just got to get all the stuff up and running, make sure we can get you guys sounding really good. They already won't let us put you on camera.
No.
You guys are all too good looking. But
well, I told Cornford, look, dude, just because you're back on the air doesn't mean you don't shave, but he's taking it down. Kevin Willie's been with us since night one, the very first game we ever had, and guess who we were covering? The great Rich Cornford and his Frontier Titans. And the very first game we ever had with the Kern High School District, it was over at Frontier. And Kevin was the tech giant that got us rolling. Julian has been with us for a long time now. Myself, Vance Palm, Kenny Calvin, and Rich Cornford. So tonight, this is a scrimmage. So obviously, we don't even have rosters. Coach Cornford may know a lot of the names from Ridgeview just since he was with them. I'll be honest with you, I don't know a lot of the names from either one of these schools just yet. A lot of these young gentlemen were on frost off last year. They didn't have a season, so now they're up here. We'll piece it together, but more than anything, we just want to make sure that we're up and we're going and we're running, because next week, week, gentlemen. Rich Cornford and I will be right back here, standing right here, and Coach Centennial will start their season officially with Redwood. Kenny Calvin will be with Rick Van Horn over at West High School on the campus of West, but it'll be Independence and South. Let's talk about that game first, Kenny. Independence South, wow.
It's a rematch.
Yeah.
You know, these guys actually wanted to go to battle a second time based on how tight the game was. And also, Independence did such a great job just finishing everybody. They actually beat a great Highland team that everybody expected to roll everybody.
I remember that.
You know, and just seeing them finish the way they did was phenomenal.
Coach Cornford, next week, Redwood coming into this Centennial squad here. That'll be a lot of fun. Coach, we'll go to you first. Kenny could talk just as much about what's happening on the field tonight, but since you're just coming from the coaching ranks, walk us through, A, mentalities of scrimmages, B, expectations, and C, post-scrimmage, the kind of conversations that go on with coaches and players.
Yeah, you know, you really want to get a good look at your guys in competition. You want to see who's going to step up. You know, hopefully you don't have anybody back down. You don't want to get anybody hurt. If you can come out with a nobody hurt and get a few good reps in against quality competition, it really helps show you what you need to work on.
So here we go. It's going to be just a combination of offensive sets, quarterback for Centennial wearing the black jersey. I don't know if the coach wants him in there blocking right now. He's got the black jersey on him to make sure he doesn't get hit, and he's out there trying to open up holes. That's another thing. Obviously, quarterbacks are off limits. Allegedly, quarterbacks are off limits. Yesterday, I was up at the Bakersfield College Renegades Media Day, hosted by none other than Kenny Calvin, and all the quarterbacks had yellow jerseys over their pads, and there were 7 yellow jerseys for the Renegades. Tonight, you'll see Centennial quarterback wearing black.
Yeah, you know, the returning quarterback is Manning. Not a Peyton Manning, but from the Manning line of Dennis Manning and Chad Manning and those.
Son of my teammate Josh Manning.
Yeah, he's a heck of a competitor. Led the team in rushing and passing last year.
Back to throw already. Flings one out here to the near side. What a beautiful toss.
Oh!
And good toss. Not bad coverage, but we do see a flag, which brings me up to the next point here, Kenny. I walked down on the grass earlier tonight because I'm here early. That's me. I'm walking around, seeing people saying hi, talk to the officials. All the guys in shorts tonight, they're also cutting their teeth again tonight, aren't they, the officials?
You know, and I commended the officials last spring season for how well they did managing a lot of rough football with limited time to work. You know, it was a challenge for the officials to be able to get on the same page. People don't understand how a lot of these guys don't get to work together like the groups at the next level. They're pieced together. So to see them come out and actually do an efficient job of calling football games during the spring, I know they're excited to get a full year and that repetition in.
Great to have everybody here on the Kern High Network. This is the Kern High School District's live exclusive coverage of athletics. Tonight it is football scrimmage time. The Purple Squad, Ridgeview Wolfpack, on the road over here, the west side, Centennial High School, welcoming everybody. A festive, raucous JV scrimmage and frost-off scrimmage. Boy, there was some serious popping going on as I was down there kind of getting ready for this. Another thing is, and Coach Cornford can weigh on this as well, you know, just the nuances of the timing, the cadence. There's a lot of those finer things in a football game that really, really can let you know where you stand. That's a nice connection right there. Good timing.
How about the zip on that ball from the young man Manning? I heard a lot of great things about him. I didn't get a chance to do any Centennial football games during the spring, but I heard he was phenomenal. It's good to see him get that ball out quick on that quick hitch.
Yeah, like all Mannings, he's a competitor.
Absolutely.
And he took some hellacious hits both against us and we watched him against Stockdale, and he just keeps on coming. I think he thrives on it. And he's got all 4 of his receivers returning.
Wow.
Well, one of them, not sure which number, but is Hernan Santiago's kid.
Wow.
Who started for him as a freshman. So Hernan went out and played at University of Washington. So
it's my linebacker.
The Freight Train's kid is playing.
What? Man, one of my greatest teammates of all time.
Well, of course, he's an Arvin Bear. Fumble. Fumble on the play. Okay, let's talk about this element of the first scrimmage of the season. Some of these young men, not all of them, you'd like it for it to be all, but some of these young men are really looking to hit somebody.
Absolutely. You've been hitting your own guys for a few weeks.
Well, just the layoff for all those months, too.
You know, the excitement that exists, you know, just being able to get to regular scheduled programming. I talked about that early. You know, having the spring season was great. You know, it was very emotional for a lot of the young guys. But to get back to the normal way of doing things relaxes a lot of these young guys. They got too much to worry about as it is with school and getting back to normal and all the masks and no masks and vaccines and no vaccines. Let's just get back to playing some ball.
Pass out to the far side. Nice cut up field, not bad.
You see Ridgeview was late getting over there. He was an uncovered guy. I think he just went hot route over there, seeing that. But, you know, Ridgeview returns quite a few guys defensively. Martinez, number 7 there at safety, is an excellent athlete. And then 44, Simpkins, linebacker, is probably the best returning of the front 7 guys. And he's just going to be a junior this year.
Speaking of Manning family, Dave Manning, kind of trying to cruise in under the radar, but a name like that, a man like that's not going to sneak by us. Hi, Dave.
Coach Cornford, you make a great point as this goes incomplete. One of my favorite things about the team last year, even though you guys were undermanned a bit, the linebacker corps did such a great job flowing sideline to sideline. They kept you guys in some tough games and gave you guys an opportunity to win a couple of those. So, you know, it's definitely good to see them having some returning guys to build that momentum back up early.
Yeah, and he was a kid that he lost about 60 pounds, and I was, going to send him to JV. He said, Coach, just give me a chance, and I'm sure glad he told me to do that. Oh, Martinez almost intercepted that one.
Picked off the corner. Coach, who's big 67 right there? Defensive lineman. Well, he's running off the field right now. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, I'm not sure who that is.
And by the way, if you're just joining us, I'm putting him on the spot, but let's not forget he's no longer the head coach. He's up here in the booth with us again, so he's not going to know every player in there. But I just figured if you're 6'2", 330, maybe somebody knows your name. That's a big kid.
You know, in big shoes to fill when you got guys like Rufus that are no longer there that moved on, because that was another highlight of your defense, you know, having that big guy plugging up the nose.
Yeah, and defensively we were pretty good last year. Boy, just offensively, the turnover bug just plagued us.
Whoa.
There's Simpkins.
Oh, okay. Now my memory is coming back. Right now I'm coming back. Oh, what a major player! What a force he's going to be this year.
Absolutely, and I was wondering if that was one of my late teammate Jerome Simpkins.
I think
sons.
It was. Yeah. He presses to the line really well as a linebacker. You know, if you're a linebacker and you're making tackles 5 yards down the field, you're not a very good linebacker. You'll see he makes tackles at the line of scrimmage, and he's got a really bright future, I think, ahead of him.
Heck, guys, that was in the backfield. That was in the backfield. And notice that Manning's been in the shotgun every snap, has not been behind center yet. Indicative of a scrimmage.
You know, I noticed that passion in Simpkins' approach to the game last year. He was always around the ball, so it's great to see him as a team leader coming back and getting his nose in
back,
there.
has a man open, he tosses it up there, looks good, and it's caught. Man, how about that? Goodness.
You know,
40-yarder.
VP, that's the second corner route that I've seen thrown perfectly by Manning. One to the left, one to the right, and that one complete for the first down.
Tight Spyro. Again, everybody, welcome. Kern High School District's live exclusive coverage of high school athletics. This is the Kern High Network. Vance Palm, Kenny Calvin, Rich Cornford, Kevin Willie, Julian Wilson. Great to have everybody here with us tonight. Next Friday night, we are for real. Well, we're always for real, but you know what I mean.
Since you introduced me again, Vance.
Oh, wow, sure. Kevin, come right in.
I told you not to give me a microphone.
Come on, do it, man. Do it. Talk to us.
Coach, I know I'm getting older, but I drove up here this afternoon when the JV and the Frost Shop were out here. Those guys look small. Is it just because it's the beginning of the year, or?
Well, I do think that Ridgeview has got some exceptionally big fellas up front, and we did last year too. I mean, I think our offensive line averaged about 290 pounds.
On JV and Frost off?
The varsity O-line was really big, so I think compared to those guys, the Frost off are going to look small.
I see what you're saying, right. Well, Kevin, why don't you go up and pop a couple of them on the helmet?
Yeah, no thank you.
I'll tell you what. I'm trying to think of what year it was. A couple years ago, I was down at the Patriots game on Liberty, and I was on the sidelines, and I'm 6'5", 250, and I was standing down there pregame talking to Coach Nixon. It was Liberty. I was talking to Coach Nixon, and man, those young cats were looking down on me, and I was like, goodness, this is seniors and juniors in high school, some big old guys. Next week, Coach Cornford and I will be right here at Centennial High School as we're going to switch sides, and Ridgeview is going to get the ball. And we'll be here, Centennial hosting Redwood. That'll be nice. Start the season off here. Kenny's going to be over at West High School. It'll be on West's campus, but it'll be Independence versus South. That's going to be a really, really fun game. Both of these games will be on the Kern High Network. You'll have your choice to watch either game. And always go on the KHD website, and you can go back and look at the archives and watch all of our events. So it just feels so great to be back doing it, man.
You know, I was joking with my wife yesterday. She was like, why are you in such a good mood? I was like, it's our time, baby.
Well, you mean after you said, because I just love you, babe, so much, it's all about you. But then you went to football.
Right. But she knows. She married herself into this. I talked about the mental health component of getting back to normal. Because that was the hugest thing in the spring, was just seeing some of these kids give up on themselves because they had no idea whether the game was coming back. Coach, can you touch on that a bit?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was like a roller coaster, really, and very tough because we thought, hey, we're going to be back in the winter and then this and that. And so Coach Quinn at Ridgeview, who is a great hire, won a Valley Championship.
We'll touch on that soon.
But he really had to work on reestablishing the culture of Ridgeview in a very short time, and defensively they looked great that first drive.
Speaking of the Ridgeview defense, shout out to my nephew Lawrence White as he's putting in work down there at the Tampa Bay Bucks. He's not my blood nephew, but his dad, Big Lawrence, and his mom, Asia, we all grew up together. I knew him before he was born, and just to see that work ethic and passion transcend and give him an opportunity, to get signed as an unsigned free agent, is definitely a blessing for the organization as a whole. So shout out to the White family, and the Ridgeview Wolfpack.
Wolfpack has the ball right now. First snap, a little bit off cue, not the smoothest transition, and big hit in there from Centennial. But again, this is the second snap on the offensive side for the Wolfpack.
Andres Rivera at quarterback. That's Yasmin Johnson, the running back.
And helmet popped off of somebody, so you've got a baseball player back there slinging it, Coach.
Sidearmed it as well.
Yeah, and he played baseball last year, so he only has played freshman football. He's going to be a junior now, but he needs these reps a lot. Definitely has the arm and has the athleticism to be a top-notch quarterback in this town.
You think about it. You have this scrimmage and next week's practice,
right,
and it's on.
Showtime.
Wow.
I love the fact that the coaches are giving them an opportunity to try to stretch things down the field. This is a scrimmage. Let's see what's going to work, and give them an opportunity to try to be successful and stretch the field immediately.
Ball is at the 27-yard line. He's back there with one back on his right hip. With bright purple pants. Looks again, wants to throw again, fires out to the left side. This time goes through Simpkins' hands. Simpkins was turned around and ready for it.
And Coach Cornford made a great point about last year's team. The defense was solid. You guys did a fantastic job. That's why that last game was 13-7. You guys played such great defense and just had a couple of blown plays to change the tide of the game. But that was the consistency that carried you guys for that short season. Now with the new coach, you see them spreading it out and trying to get to working things on the edge and working things a little more downfield. It may be because you have more depth and more personnel to approach the game that way, because I know you guys were shorthanded on the offensive side of the football last year.
Yeah, and I think Ridgeview's got a pretty good stockpile of good athletes. And if you can get those guys in space, like here, that's Martinez right there.
Oh, goodness.
He doesn't miss many of those.
Wow, he's flung that baby down there.
Right as Coach Cornford said it. On the money, off the fingertips, and if you touch it, it's supposed to be yours. That's what we always were taught.
It's a really good ball by Rivera over there. Set his feet and put it out there where it should have been caught.
Very impressed with both quarterbacks with their down-the-field play right now. You know, it's up to the receivers to make those QBs look good.
Ball's at the 30-yard line. Coach, you know who 22 is, the back there on his left?
That's Yasmin Johnson.
Yasmin Johnson. Quick look out to the left side, right through his fingertips. Boy, he could hear the footsteps, went right through his fingertips.
Centennial linebackers will do that to people. This school has a long tradition of great linebacker play, and I know last year they graduated, I think all of them, but they're always good. Very well coached. Andy Coyle is the defensive coordinator and does a great job.
You know, that's one thing that you're going to learn about Bakersfield. When you come here, you're going to run into some good linebackers on every team 9 times out of 10. Pretty good ones across town over on Brimhall as well.
Johnson, somewhat of an audible right behind the line of scrimmage, kind of went and whispered to all the linemen. And, of course, he let them know, hey, they're giving me the ball. Nice stiff arm. Ooh, goodness. Strong run, good tackle. That's some good football right there on that play.
That is some good football. And I think Yasmin is giving the line their protections and their schemes each time. Not
That's
positive
great
on that, but I know Coach Quinn is coordinating both the offense and the defense.
Wow.
Since he came in late and he wants to do his stuff. And
wow.
Well, I can't imagine a better segue than that then to talk about Coach Quinn. If he's doing both, talk about Coach Quinn.
Well, he's a winner. He won a Valley Championship, I believe it was at Kennedy in Delano, and then went on to Clovis North. I coached against him when he was at Clovis North, and just a tremendously good coach at the fundamentals. You know, has a great football mind, and you see all his linemen step with the right foot. And then he went. He was commuting up there, worked at McFarland for just a spell, and then he was going to be the receivers coach for the Renegades this last year when Ridgeview did and Ridgeview's administration is great and understands the importance of football, and they went out and got a winner.
That's one thing you could say about Ridgeview since its inception. You can go back to as far as the late 90s, early 2000s, kids like Josh Powell, you know, Josh Wiesner. You know, since the start, they compete, you know, and I think the chip that's on their shoulder from hearing about how good all these other schools are in town gives them that mojo that they have. You know, they don't want to be disrespected. It's a lot of former drillers and South High parents who live in that neighborhood, too. I have some former teammates that have kids over there and a few little cousins on your team that play for you, the Massies and a few other teams.
Here's another one down the near side. It's going to be a battle to go up and get it. Nice defense out there, broken up. I remember calling Bryson Hodges' game. Woo! Wow. What a player.
Yeah, and I think, you know, when Manning took over, which was a little over 10 years ago, he really took it to another level. Brought him from Division III to Division I.
Right.
I remember those games.
Yeah, and so they were very successful. Won a couple Valley championships. Played for a state championship one of those years. And you mentioned White, you know, who's with the Buccaneers right now. He played quarterback for him.
Right.
And they were just phenomenal.
You know, and even in those moments, they had rosters that can compete with anybody in town. You know, it's just the luck of the bounce of the ball in some of those games went the other way. But kudos to the Ridgeview administration on the new hire, and good luck to Coach Quinn.
Johnson on a carry, gets caught up at the line of scrimmage. Nice job by that Centennial defense. And here's some of the dads below saying, there you go. Coach, talk to Ryan Matthews much? Have you any contact, any update? What's going on? How's he doing? Or have you talked? Or what's going on?
So he's living in San Diego area. He's got a nice little farm there with chickens and some pigs. But the best thing is he's got a dirt bike track.
Nice.
Which he loves that even more than football. And his son is 6 years old, but phenomenal on a motorbike.
Well, they say you could take the boy out of Kern County.
Right.
Hey, great to hear. Thanks for that update. Oh, I love this. A little dangerous.
Oh!
A little dangerous. So we're seeing it all right now from this Ridgeview offense. He's really doing what you should be doing in the scrimmage, right?
Yeah, you got to see what works. Go ahead, Coach.
I'm asking both of you. Hey, look, when I have two football minds.
Well, you know, just talking from a perspective of the beautiful thing about the scrimmage is you want to find out what works, what doesn't work. What are we keeping? What are we scrapping? And as a coach, I always love to go back and ask my guys, hey, what did you guys like about tonight? What do we need to keep for you guys to be successful? Because I've always said that in order for us to be successful as a unit, we have to listen to all the voices. You know, and that's the key component to getting results early.
Yeah, and if all those voices are on the same page, good things are going to happen. And, with today's huddle technology, which is the sideline, what you watch film on these days, it's you want to give your quarterback those reps. So he's going to learn more from his mistakes than from his successes. Right. So you want to give him a chance to put the ball in the air quite a bit to coach that part up. And, the receivers and their route running.
Hey, I just want to let everybody know we're so thankful tonight for Centennial's hosting our tech run-through. Principal Matt Gwynn, Assistant Principal Kari Palacios, Assistant Principal Chris Sanchez, the Dean, Jacob Stubbe. I saw Coach Stubbe down there a little earlier, Athletics Director Tom Haskell, of course. Appreciate that, Tom. Here's a run from Johnson to the near side. Nice close by the Golden Hawks. Activities Director Janet Chapman. Also a very special thank you to Stan Green, the current high school district superintendents, and our sponsors at Valley Strong Credit Union for allowing us to put on events like this for our community. Thank you, everybody, for getting us here, and we are so excited about the season starting to unfold. Again, Rich and I will be here next Friday night, Redwood versus Centennial, and Kenny and Rick Van Horn, two Renegade Driller legends, will be at West to cover the Independent South game. A special thanks to the immortal Don Kessler for getting us a table up here in a matter of 5 minutes. Julian's down there sweating him. Sweating him. He goes up and gave Donnie the business. Donnie's like, yeah, I'll get it up there right now. Hold on. Nice pass.
Yeah, but the pursuit of that Centennial secondary and back 7, I'd say, from the linebackers to the secondary, they're flying around. And that's one thing I learned from Coach Durrett when I interviewed him on the Renegade Report a couple years ago when he first got the job. He was going to bring Texas to Rosedale. High-energy football, spreading it out on offense, balanced offense, running through the air, but defensively flying around.
Coach Starr, interesting. He played freshman football for one of my best friends.
Wow.
Yeah, a guy named Scott Shaw. We all referred to him as Catfish.
Nice.
But when I first met Richard, we were talking. He said he was from a place called Whitney. I said, hey, one of my best friends, Scott Shaw's from there. He said, he was my freshman. So Coach Starr started as a freshman at quarterback for him. First pass went for a touchdown.
Wow.
Unfortunately, it was an interception. But anyway, small world, and, he brings that Texas football, which – Texas football is a religion.
Absolutely.
Over there. And just a lot of fun to talk to him. He football 24/7 guy.
All right. New set of 12 plays for the Golden Hawks. Flag on the play. New quarterback. Wearing number 16. Again, we have no rosters, and we will definitely have them for next week's first official start of the season. But tonight, Scrimmage, we're here to do a tech run-through for the Kern High Network. And pretty excited about everything that's taking place here. For those of you that are listening in intently tonight and you're paying attention, you may hear a voice that's coming through the PA system for the Centennial Golden Hawks. That is none other than the silky, smooth, soft-toned voice of none other than the incomparable Carl Bryan, announcer for the Bakersfield College Renegades for this season. He is going to be the voice of the Golden Hawks on Friday night. I was walking in, I heard that voice, Kenny. I said, wait a second, am I missing something? What happened? So he's volunteered to help out and train some apprentices that are working underneath him. And again, that voice for Centennial, you'll hear it next Friday night as well. Carl Bryan, voice of the Renegades.
Classic voice. One of the, as a player, and this is one of the things I told Greg yesterday at Media Day, speaking of Greg Kerr. Media professionals underestimate the impact that they have on the game for the younger athletes. I couldn't wait for Greg to put a clip up of me. I couldn't wait for Carl to say my name over the PA, because it was one of the things that kind of made you feel immortalized.
Of course.
When guys like that give you that 10 seconds of fame.
Of course. Did Greg appreciate the fact that you remind him of how old he is? Or did he like that part of it?
I don't think so.
Don't sweat it, man. I bust that guy all the time. Greg's first year ever in Bakersfield was my senior year at Cal State,
wow.
and it was Pat Douglas's first year as the head coach.
Wow.
And for our postseason regionals, we played up at Cal State Hayward, and the affiliate head sports guy was a guy named Charlie Adams, and his assistant was Greg Kerr. So they went up to Cal State Hayward and called a Cal State game live game. Greg was the color analyst, and it started the Roadrunner mania. And so at any moment I can ever remind Greg that he called my games. It's one of my favorite things to do. He doesn't appreciate it. I've always told Jeff Evans, he covered, the 1924 Olympics.
I didn't say it, Jeff. But the camaraderie and the fraternity, and that's what I was going to touch on when you talked about Texas and Coach Starrett playing for one of your old buddies. The football fraternity is so small. I was an Arkansas college guy after BC and San Jose State, and half of my roster is in Texas coaching. And my son lives in Texas, and I'm like, where are you, son? You're like, oh, okay, you're 10 minutes away from my running back. Just those relationships, and having the opportunity to revisit those as the season comes back is what's beautiful about being back tonight, too.
Well, and we are fortunate that Bakersfield does a great job of covering high school football, especially Greg Kerr, and the hometown sports. We're very lucky that we get that kind of support here.
Absolutely.
Because it's not like that everywhere. Now, continue to watch Simpkins all over the field.
A
couple plays ago, he had another tackle for loss. There he's tackling the receiver down the field. Like I said, he's just a junior this year, and he'll definitely have some people looking at him.
I can't talk about the young Simpkins without talking about his dad. I was his dad's team captain his freshman year in college when he came to BC without even playing a down of football, and this guy ends up first team all-conference with a D1 scholarship at the end of the year just off natural energy. So the apple don't fall far from the tree.
Yeah, he's a very serious kid, works very hard, just understands, has that instinct for the game that I think all great linebackers have.
Man, it's amazing to see the continued legacies. And some of these guys, like you said, they're so young, they're just getting started. So we have a fourth and a short one. Definitely a nice, tough run.
Yeah, great effort there to split a couple defenders to get that first down.
You're definitely going to see some passion because you got guys that have been chomping at the bit, like Coach Corford said. The spring season for a lot of guys was enjoyable, I should say, but it was very frustrating for another group of guys that didn't get the reps that they wanted. Had to wait for some of those seniors to get the opportunities that they had before they walked out the door. And now it's their time to shine as those juniors step up to the plate now. So we got VP trying to do photo shoots in the middle of the broadcast. But like we said, this is a scrimmage, so we're trying to work out all the kinks. VP got to make sure his camera angles are right.
There's two twins, the Kemp brothers there, and number 14 is one of them, but I'm not sure which one over there for Ridgeview. Good defensive backs. Coach Quinn said a couple of his better players out there. I really think that linebacker core and secondary is strengths of Ridgeview this year, and the D-line is got some good size, but they're pretty young.
And I always feel like if you have a great DB core and great leadership at your Mike linebacker, I think you're going to be a good football team.
Golden Hawks starting to make a move here, huh, Kenny? Ooh, had a man open.
That same corner route that's worked for them earlier, they're going at it again. They've seen something in that defense.
A year and a half ago, Coach Starrett's first year, we can say 2 years now, wow. So balanced. They came out running the ball first quarter. I want to say, I don't know if it was me and you or me and RVH, but they came out running the football so consistently, we thought that was who they were. And all of a sudden, here comes the play action and the spreading out the football and also some trick plays. So he opens it up. You never know what you're going to get from Coach Starrett.
Straight drop back, flushed out of the pocket, a lot of pressure. Oh. Scrimmage, boy, he was exposed for just a second.
Nice.
Yeah, good job by the secondary with coverage, and then the Ridgeview D-line got there. Luke was in on that, what would have been a sack if they hadn't blown the whistle.
And that's probably the one thing that you don't like as a defense during a scrimmage is that you can't tee off on the quarterback.
One of my best friends, you guys know, Nico Nidea, has a story about in a controlled scrimmage situation just ripping his own quarterback. And I think Rick Van Horn was the head coach of the Blitz at that time.
Yeah.
And Rick was like, Nick, you can't hit him. And Nick's response was, he's not good enough for me not to hit him. So that's a linebacker for you.
Well, Coach Corford, I got a story of one of my college linebackers getting cut from an NFL team for hitting Tim Couch in camp. And they sent him right home on the next thing smoking. I'm not going to put no names out there.
Hey, now you're talking about, look at this. Nice, strong, tough run.
Whoa.
Yeah, but now you're talking about paid assets, right? Paid assets.
I think Tim Couch was never the same after that hit.
Now we know. Now we know why.
Absolutely.
Let's do it right here, fellas. Doing some documentation for the Kern High Network. Taking photos up here to get ready for the Kern High Network, the Achieve magazine.
Boy, that is a phenomenal magazine.
Kidding me, man?
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you something else. What Stan and his team at the Kern High School did. When you do that and you put that Achieve magazine out after we've been missing sports for so long, boy, it just brings back everybody. How about this? Another toss and
nice.
Let's
And
see
like
what
you
happens.
said, looks like Martinez.
Yeah, that's Aaron Martinez back there, and he's a ball hawk. He is very high football IQ, very good athlete.
I do remember calling his name pretty much every other snap last year.
Yeah, and as a senior, it'll be his defense. He'll make those calls from the back end there, and make sure everybody's in the right spot.
Once again, everybody, this is the Kern High Network. It's Kern High School District's live coverage of athletics. Well, they do everything. They do music, they do drama, they do pretty much everything. But tonight it's athletics and it's high school football. The Ridgeview Wolfpack visiting Centennial in a controlled scrimmage environment. I'm Vance Palm, Kenny Calvin, Rich Cornford, Kevin Willie, Julian Wilson, and we will split up after tonight, and we won't all be together again until our post-season gala where Stan buys us all steak dinners. And thanks us all for, everybody laughed at the same time. Stan, I don't know if that's a good sign. They all chuckled at the same time. But Stan gave us all a big text last week and says, "Who's ready? Who's in? You guys ready to go?" And man, it was. You know how you blow off some people, you don't text them back. Not that one, man. Stan texted, and every one of us, boom, 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 boom. We're all in. We are in. So great to have you here. We won't be here much longer tonight. We'll just make sure that Kevin and Julian are good with what they're feeling and what they're seeing and what they're hearing, and then we will call it a night and get ready for next Friday night. Coach, I want to ask you a question. Don't want to beat a dead horse on this, but with all that's gone on, Kenny and I's last game together on the Dameron deck at BC was the previous November. So that's for us a stark reminder of how long it's been. We did some spring football, some high school stuff, and I called some renegade basketball, volleyball. But the stark reminder of how long it's been for us, for me, it's he and I up on top of the Dameron deck up there at Memorial Stadium. That's how long it's been in a lot of ways. What's your overall arching, just kind of self-reflective feeling and looking back on all that we've gone through for so long? Kind of a general question, Coach.
Yeah, well, we talked about the roller coaster earlier, and from my perspective, I was just happy to get some football in.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of people were too. But then once you get the pads on, and you start grinding it out a little bit, well, you got little bumps and bruises here. Some people weren't so happy football was back,
ready to go.
And you really weren't really able to develop a culture. Typically we take our kids up to the Hume Lake football camp and everybody bonds up there playing dodgeball and paintball and things like that. Nobody was able to do that. So really, kids came in. There was no grade point average requirement last year, so you had kids coming to football practice that weren't doing any schoolwork,
Right.
and it was, it showed on the football field. It wasn't as high a quality of product as we're typically used to seeing.
Thank you, Coach. Kenny, you and I have stayed in touch through it all, and our social platform is interlinked with so many things. So I know you stayed buoyant and positive, and you were out there doing your numerous things around the community. But When I think about this, I still think about back to you and I walking off the Memorial Stadium that night, just thinking, all right, we'll see you soon. See you soon. And what's going on with you in your life and your head and your heart?
Just Coach made a great point. It felt great to see them have the opportunity to play. We knew it wasn't going to be the perfect brand of football that we're all used to, but guys like us who grew up around the game and had a chance to see it change so many lives, we were just happy to see it happen. Now we're getting back to normalcy, and you're giving the opportunity for guys to reestablish themselves from a livelihood perspective, getting back to the normal rigors of going to class every day, teaching young men how to be quality individuals on and off the field it basically makes it more important than just the game. We have to remind people that even though we're happy to be back playing the game, we have to still continue to teach it the right way, teach young men how to be the right kind of players, and take advantage of the opportunity, because without it last year, you realize how important it is when it's not there.
Well said, both of you. Thank you, guys. I've counted a real honor and privilege to do these things with you. And Coach and Kenny, I see all those coaches back there in the backfield just standing there. Man, they've got to be feeling great about being back at it. Both of you former coaches, and just look at this big toss by the big
nice
fella.
Pass.
Who's that number 31, Coach?
I'm not sure who that is.
Right. Well, I'm putting you under the bus 31. Tonight.
I know.
Catching
Sorry, the ball, I'm pretty sure it was Isaiah Nunez, who's another junior. Played some fullback and some linebacker for us last year as a sophomore. Very tough, very physical kid. Loves to get after it.
Looking around the city, the different teams that we're going to be covering for sure over the span of this autumn. You look at Coach Stewart, the BHS drillers. I saw Coach recently here in the town and in the city, and
another pick. Well, talking about Coach Stewart, he just got a brand new Corvette to pull out of the driveway, and Coach Sheehy joining the staff as an offensive coordinator for the first time as a coach from the football perspective. And he, we'll take it back 25 years. We were battling on the field against each other in front of 30,000 people at Bakersfield College, when we played them and took them down. But, I had to throw that in. I got to slide that in. But, with my daughter being a driller girls basketball player and playing under Sheehy, his leadership and his expertise, I'm just excited to see how that's going to transition to the grass.
What a power-packed sideline for Stu and Rashad. You've got Coach Gola coaching up at Garces now, coming into his third season, and the schedules that he puts together. There's just some exciting stuff. Coach Nixon still basically the benchmark, the guy that you've got to knock off.
Got to keep chasing him.
Coach Quinn here, Coach Starrett here. Just some good stuff going on. Looking forward to a great season.
It's exciting to see the return. You got some new additions, new coaches, but ultimately we get a full year to evaluate everybody, hopefully. With things, as things happen, hopefully we don't have anything that changes that. But it's going to be an exciting year for football and an exciting year for Kern High Network.
Well, my hat goes off to all these coaches out here, because the average person does not have an inkling of the time that these guys put in to other people's children,
Right.
And then the pay is not great.
Right.
You do it for the love of the game, and, quick turnaround for these guys. Most of them didn't get a summer vacation at all out here, grinding in the heat of Bakersfield. So hats off to them. And you parents out there, you get a chance to say thank you, Coach. Take advantage of it.
Instead of criticizing every chance you get.
Wolfpack still trying to grind out some offense. Play action. We've seen this gunslinger already get it up there. It's a nice call by the officials right there. Nothing was happening. Nothing was panning out. Let's just call it right there. So, again, everybody, we won't be here too much longer. I'm Vance Palm, Kenny Calvin, Rich Cornford. We will have Rick Van Horn joining us this year. We will have Titan Tom Myers. Jason Galvan will also be involved. So, the usual stellar cast of sports voices here and myself will be here calling some fun high school football. And Julian and Kevin, appreciate you guys. So just want to remind everybody, next Friday night, Rich Cornford and I will be standing right here as the Golden Hawks welcome in Redwood, and also on the Kern High Network. Another great game. You can make your pick and This is a game you don't want to miss, and it's Kenny Calvin and Rick Van Horn calling Independence versus South at West High School, and that is going to be a really good game as well. Next Friday night, first Friday night starting off with a bang.
Two of the most explosive teams from last year's spring season in the Independence team or the Falcons and the South High Rebels.
Wow, what a nice move that was.
Whoa.
Goodness.
Yeah, that's Yasmin Johnson again, and that's his ball game. He's not super fast, but he's a strong, tough runner that when he's going north and south will make that one cut, make it difficult to bring him down.
Man, he came to a complete standstill for a second and then put it back in gear.
I love to see young backs put the foot in the ground and just get upfield instead of trying to continue to beat guys to the sideline.
Again, Principal Matt Gwynn, thank you. Assistant Principal Kerry Palacios, Assistant Principal Chris Sanchez, the Dean of Students, Jacob Stubbe, the Athletics Director here at Centennial High School, Tom Haskell, the Activities Director, Jana Chapman. A very special thank you to Stan Green and also the Kern High School District Superintendents and our sponsors at Valley Strong Credit Union for allowing us to put on events like this for our community. A couple more plays here, and we will wrap it up.
Another good job by the Centennial secondary there. Had time to throw, Rivera did, but just nobody could get open. So excellent coverage by the Golden Hawks.
Spread the word for all of you out there watching tonight, and at KHSD Athletics, and just let everybody know we are back, and they haven't stopped. Every time I'm on Twitter, it's just flooded with just great prominent presence by the Kern High School District, so they've not stopped. We're just glad to have some live action here again.
Absolutely. You know, and as scrimmages go, you start with the ones, you go to the twos, and then you go to the threes, and then you start trying to mix guys in, but eventually you try to get back to the ones before the scrimmage is over. It's untimed on the board. You know, the coaches have the time on the field, so if you're listening, that's one of the reasons why we're not giving quarters and times as well. But, you know, it's just great to see guys having an opportunity to put a hat on somebody else that's not their color. So we got 3rd and 10 for Ridgeview. They're in a trips open set. They go with the ISO inside and a nice run.
This?
And he has some wheels.
Do we have a touchdown in this scrimmage? We do.
Whoa.
So that's Isaiah Nunez, right? Again, did a good job, pressed in the line, made his one cut against the grain there, and had enough speed to take it the distance.
Exactly what we were just referring to, putting that foot in the ground and getting north and south instead of trying to beat guys to the sideline, because that play looked like it was designed to go to the right, and he just stuffed that foot in the ground and got upfield in between the hash. And that was about a 55-yard touchdown run.
Man, that's –
I think it caught the Golden Hawks just thinking pass rush, getting up the field there a little bit and lost a little backside pursuit. And that's all it takes with a good back.
I will tell you this, gentlemen. I was looking at the weather for next week. And, oh, wait, that's Seattle. No, I'm kidding. Next Friday night, a cool, balmy 100 degrees.
I think it's supposed to be hot all next week. I think we're like 108 on Monday.
Yeah.
So the general rule in the Kern High School District, if it's over 100, the JV doesn't start till 6, and that usually means we don't start until 8:30ish.
Right. So possibly we'll keep you posted for sure. Always check us out on Twitter and Facebook. That way you know what's happening, and I'm sure that the high school district will let everybody know what's happening with all the games and the times, and so it's going to be a fun one. Ridgeview back on the field, and he was about to get sacked. About to go down. Great pursuit by that front three.
Yeah, that was a great job. I think that was the last play, so Centennial was kind of expecting pass there. Now Centennial go back on offense. And I know Ridgeview had a lot of ones in there this time. See if Centennial looks like they're going to go with their ones on offense again.
All right, and we're going to wrap it up with that. Coach Cornford, you and I will be here next Friday night. Great to have you back. Just hearing your voice up here just gets everything going back in my mind again for high school football. Thank you. Good to have you here. Appreciate it. Partner, you will be please tell me that you're running the show next week and not Van Horn.
Well, you know, Being I spent a lifetime trying to chase his interception records and never caught him, I might let him take the lead.
He's got a little bit on you. Is it you, Van Horn, and Julian?
It is me, Van Horn, and Dr. J.
And then the boss, Kevin Willie, myself, and Rich will see you next Friday night. 2 games, don't miss them. This is the Kern High School District's live exclusive coverage of athletics. This is the Kern High Network. Vance, Rich, Kenny, Kevin, Julian, good night, and we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend.